you get help when you are sick in your physical body. So what happens then to your mind? You know, how do you train your mind to be healthy so that you don't get physically sick?
When you hear mental health, people see it as a stigma. But mental health can be anything. I'm sitting here, I could be going through things that I'm not seeing.
Many of us, we don't think about mental health, the wholesome mind, until we are faced with some sort of issue or mental illness. And then we realize the importance of it.
Even with children between the ages of 0 to 5 years, as a girl, there's a certain way you show her love that makes her feel confident in her adulthood.
It's so important to have your mind, your soul, your body as one.
So, is there a moment in the book or a part of the book that your children will strongly connect with?
I think all
everywhere.
Hi everyone, it's Caleb here, and welcome to the Spoudazo Book Review Podcast. This special episode is brought to you by the Spoudazo Book Review Podcast in collaboration with the Wholesome Mind Experience Workbook. And before we continue, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't. It's free of charge. You don't have to do anything. Just click on the subscribe button down below. Thank you very much. On this special episode, I have 3 wonderful guests on board, and you are really going to enjoy the conversation. It's a conversation on wholesome mind and then on mental health. Before we continue, or as we continue, I want to introduce our guests to you.
Mrs. Lady Anne Essuman, Esquire, is a corporate and commercial lawyer with over a decade of experience advising businesses on negotiations, restructuring, regulatory compliance, and governance. She is the co-founder and managing attorney of Vent and Alethea, where she leads the corporate and commercial practice group. A Harvard-certified negotiator, licensed insolvency practitioner, and commissioner of oaths, she is recognized for her strategic and forward-thinking approach to law. Under her leadership, the firm has earned recognition from the Legal 500, Commercial, Corporate, and M&A 2025, and IFLR 1000, Projects 2025. In recent years, she has spearheaded the launch of the firm's Technology and Artificial Intelligence Practice 2024 and its international expansion with the New York City office 2025. Beyond legal practice, Lady Anne is the convener of the Wholesome Mind, a mental health and wellness initiative founded in 2024 to promote awareness, workplace wellness, and inclusive dialogue. She is committed to a model of leadership and combines legal excellence and human dignity, mental well-being, and social impact. Dr. Christine Marbell-Pierre is a clinical psychologist with a PhD from Clark University in Massachusetts. She completed her pre- and postdoctoral training at Boston Children's Hospital, after which she worked as a staff psychologist, providing treatment to children and families. She is licensed and practicing in Accra, Ghana, and is the head of psychology at Missions Clinic in Kokomlemle. She specializes in educational psychological assessments for students who need access arrangements for international exams like Cambridge IGCSE, A-levels, and IB. Dr. Marbell-Pierre and her team also provide expert consultations, workshops, and seminars on staff and student well-being and special education support for schools. She aims to bring hope and healing to families, providing tried and tested evidence-based therapy. She has been interviewed by the BBC about her research on successful parenting strategies across cultures. In her spare time, she loves to create digital art. Mrs. Nascott Arthur is a creative specialist with a strong track record in designing child-centered experiences that blend education, wellness, and storytelling. She is the founder of Prep Pack, a tailored back-to-school solution for families, and the founder and lead at Say and Sag, an events company dedicated to creating meaningful experiences for children and families. Through Say and Sag, she spearheads several initiatives, including Egalia, a large-scale themed Easter event designed for the whole family. Na's passion for nurturing creativity and emotional confidence in children is deeply rooted in her parenting journey. Her son became Ghana's youngest published author at the age of 4 with the release of his debut book, Cuckoo the Fixer, a milestone shaped by her commitment to early learning and child-led expression. A devoted mother of 2, she brings authenticity, care, and imagination to every project she leads.
Welcome back once again, and then thank you very much for staying. So, to my guests here, welcome to the Spoudazo Book Review Podcast. Yes, and then, so when you hear the phrase "the wholesome mind," what comes to mind?
Well, I think I'll tell you a little bit about how the wholesome mind came to be, and then it helps you understand why we coined the term, or why I coined the term. It was on the back of experience with a client who had been diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, and we had to assist them to apply for an involuntary court order so they can get the help they need. What it means is that one person was sick, they didn't know that she was sick, and she didn't know she was sick. But her behaviors were a bit sporadic and got out of control. And so her family members sought for assistance using the Mental Health Act. And through that, you can apply to the court to compel the person to be taken care of. And so we came into the picture. So my firm, Vince and Alethea, assisted that client to get that court order and get the help they need. Now, whilst getting them the help they need, I had been to Kolibu for about 2 weeks in a row.
Wow.
And I saw so many other patients that were being taken care of. But I also realized that there was a gap in our society in educating people on mental health awareness. And I thought that it's important that we can promote advocacy around it, which would ultimately help in policy generation. That way, we can give people the help they need when they are sick, but most importantly, educate people on how not to get that sickness. And that was what coined the entire wholesome mind.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you very, very much. Okay, so also, why do you think this conversation is really important, especially in the aspect of mental health and a wholesome mind? Yeah.
I mean, I think it's so important because, when you start to understand that what happens in your mind affects how you behave as a human being, you start to pay more attention on how you should think and how you should, what you should concentrate on so you can be more of a productive person. So not even from a medical standpoint, but from a layman's point of view, I thought that you get help when you are sick in your physical body. So what happens then to your mind? How do you train your mind to be healthy so that you don't get physically sick? And we don't pay too much attention to that in our culture specifically. And so I think it's more important to take care of your mind than anything else. Yeah, so that's why I think it's a conversation that we have to have, and we have to educate more people on so that we can take better care of our minds.
And to add to that, for many of us, we don't think about mental health, the wholesome mind, until we are faced with some sort of issue or mental illness. And then we realize the importance of it. And we realize that quality of life is, it's so important to have your mind, your soul, your body as one. And so part of the project, the wholesome mind, was why wait to get to the point where you are in distress? And for our children too, they're going out into the world is changing constantly. Even we don't know what the future holds. So why not, equip them with the tools that they'll need so they can face whatever comes.
Okay, thank you very much.
And I also think that another thing that we don't actually pay attention to on this side of the world is when you hear mental health, people see it as a stigma. But mental health can be anything. I'm sitting here, I could be going through things that I'm not saying. But because of how the society is built, you can't come up and, when you say mental health, even with putting the program to the first one, when you say you're inviting people to mental health, they think, but what is wrong with me? I don't need it. it's not about needing to sit behind a table with a doctor before you know that there's something with you.
Yeah.
Sometimes even at home, you need some sort of help, to be able to get things going. But in our society, it looks like when they say mental health, there's something wrong with you, you're going mad or you're going to Pantine. But it's not really about that.
Yes.
So it's better that the conversations are had so that people see that it's part of life.
Yes.
It's part of, we go through it every day.
Yeah.
And so a way of people to come, overcome such fears.
Yeah.
No. So, to Dr. Christine,
Yes.
you've worked with families and then children across cultures. In your work, what's the common emotional need you've realized, irrespective of the geographical location?
That's a very good question. So I think across cultures, what I found is that the need for belongingness, right? What we'll think of as love and warmth and involvement, regardless of where you're from. Every child, every adult, in fact, longs for it. Even those who have social skills that we think, oh, they don't really need interaction. Maybe they're on the autism spectrum, they're not interested. Even they want to feel connected to people. They want a sense of oneness with others. We're social human beings, at our very core. So socializing, connection is one. And then the other one that comes up is this idea of competence.
Okay.
So being able to have an effect on your life. So oftentimes you'll find that when we feel like we don't have control, like life is happening to us, we're helpless. That's when the mental illness checks in, because it's too much to deal with. So I've noticed that across cultures, every child, every adult has a need to have control of what's happening. And even if they don't have control, a way to feel like I can manage what is happening regardless.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much. So Mrs. Nascott, you're a creative child specialist, and your work comes in together with creativity, wellness, and education. And what's one thing that you believe, or why do you think storytelling really plays a pivotal role in sending the message of mental health out?
Not only to kids, but I think it applies to everybody. I would say kids because I love kids and I'm into more kid stuff. So relating to kids, not all children understand things in the same way.
Yeah.
But you see them watching movies, you see them watching cartoons, and they relate. You, the adult, don't relate to what they're doing, but they relate to it. And so I think it's the best way to be able to put things out there for kids. It helps them to understand how they feel, because they might be going through something that they don't know or they don't understand themselves. But through storytelling or through seeing it being out there or seeing it being, acted out or something, they're able to relate to it. They're able to, better understand how they feel or what they're even thinking. They're young, so they might be thinking of something that they don't even know how to describe or how to, explain it to somebody else. But through storytelling, it's a way of communication, to be honest. It's a way of letting them speak up for themselves, letting them communicate with each other or even with their peers or even with their adults that they have in their society or in their space.
Wow. So you are talking about kids and how it's not even only related to kids. But so I want to find out, what do you think are some of the unmet needs in childhood that later runs on to adulthood?
So many.
So many.
So one comes to mind immediately, which is love. So as a child, there was this book I read, How to Really Love Your Child. And I read it before I had children. And it was by a child psychologist who wrote it, that even with children, between the ages of 0 to 5 years, as a girl, there's a certain way you show her love that makes her feel confident in her adulthood. And so there's some examples that, for example, for children, for girls, their dad should hug them a lot. They need physical touch. They need affection. They need warm words to make them feel loved. For the boys, what makes them connect is fighting, somersaulting,
Getting physical.
rough games, getting physical with them. They feel loved that way. So a child or a girl who doesn't experience that, when they grow older to a teenage, can start to misinterpret love from the other, the other, a male counterpart when they grow older, because they didn't get that affection when they were younger. So if you think about that, you realize that, and from 0 to 5, but you don't go through that stage, you miss out. So what it means is, it's important that at a young age, you understand how to show your children love, so that they don't miss out on that and start to interpret it as something else at an older age.
So can we say that accounts for one of the reasons why ladies tend to misinterpret or misconstrue?
That's a conversation for another day.
All right, that's amazing. Okay, so still taking
one of the possibilities.
Okay,
one.
At least you can give us one. Yes.
Connected to what she's saying, and I just want to add on before I give another reason, is when they don't get love, you also find that the depression is higher, right? Because there's this, it's almost like you're trying to fill a hole or a gap, and you're looking for different things, but your system doesn't even know what it's supposed to look like, how you're supposed to get it. So there's a lot of distress and confusion, especially from like puberty onwards, when they're trying to get to know themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to find out, since you're a clinical psychologist, so let's say there's a lady watching that has lost her parents, so she didn't have this kind of love. What advice would you give to someone like that to also feeling that void growing up?
So let me give it from two angles. The science will say you have to learn to accept yourself first, right? So you can go and look for love in all different places. The funny guy, the rich guy. At the end of the day, you will sabotage the relationship because you don't like yourself. And you'll be questioning, you won't trust what he's doing. Is he cheating on me? All those things will be running through your mind. So the first step is self-acceptance. Accepting your flaws, accepting that you have amazing strengths and things about you. Then there's a second side, which is more like a spiritual side, where some people say, no matter what you do, if you tell yourself, like, I'll love me and that's enough, you still feel empty. And you have to come to an acknowledgement that there's something bigger than yourself. Whatever you decide that thing is, whether that is God or goodness, but you have to acknowledge there's something bigger than us and work towards that. So for anyone who's watching, who's craving and yearning and looking for love, please start by looking inside, right? And find purpose. It doesn't mean that your fulfillment will come from another human being. It might be from something else. When you're able to do that, then you can build towards other things.
Thank you very much. Okay, so still on us, the adults. So what are some of the emotional skills that you think we adults tend to learn later on in life, or some are still learning late in life, based on their childhood and all of the experience?
I think communication is one. Communication is a big thing. I find that maybe in this society, I can't say for the rest because I see it differently. But in the society, you find that communication is a big deal. They see it as being confident to be able to communicate what you are thinking or what you want to say. In our society comes out as being disrespectful or being, but that's the only way that you know how I feel or what I'm thinking. Or even when you ask me something, before I give you the answer, you're seeing in another light. But if I don't tell you what is in my mind or how I feel about it or what I think about it, then how do we communicate? I think communication is a really big thing. It's something that we don't allow our kids to express. You get people say, oh, bana kasadodo, or she talks too much, or you're peninsem. That you hear that a lot. But it's not about peninsem. She's confident to express herself. If she's not saying negative things or she's not saying the wrong thing, there's nothing wrong with the child being able to stand up for herself or himself. And so it's something that carries along where they grow and they get into maybe office spaces where at meetings they refuse to talk. Not that they don't want to talk, but they are not used to being allowed to voice out what they have to say or what they're thinking. So they would keep quiet, but yet out of the room, they have so much to say. In another space, they have so much to say. But you should be confident enough to communicate whatever you're thinking or whatever you intend to.
Median, do you want to add something?
I think that that's a really key point she's raised, and you find it playing roles even in the workplace. And so you can easily identify someone who has good communication skills and someone who doesn't. And in having those good communication skills, there's this saying that what you say does not matter as much as how you say it. And that makes all the difference. But assuming you have a child who has learned how to communicate at a young age, in a confident way, in a polite way, in a firm way when they have to, knowing the difference between being rude and being polite, being rude and being firm, being rude and being articulate, being able to express how you feel. When they learn this, those are the children that you see or you find that in a workplace they're excelling. So you can always tell it. And that's why I think it was so key for us to make this book come to life. Because that's exactly what this book is teaching the children to do. It's allowing them to be able to understand their own emotions, understand how to communicate effectively in a society, and to be able to also still show empathy to other people. Which you don't really find in your regular textbooks. Or it's not even taught.
It's not taught.
In schools.
It's so key.
And it's so key.
Yeah.
It's so key. So, that's a little I'll add to this. Yeah.
And I'll add the managing the emotions part of it too, right? Because when you're born, if you are sad or angry, you'll cry. When you're 2 years old, you throw a tantrum. And as we get older, we're supposed to be able to manage our emotions better. But unfortunately, not all of us are able to. It's a skill that you need to learn. So you'll find full-grown adults who either will show it all, right? They'll get angry. If you're not lucky and they're the boss, you're all in trouble. Or you'll have those who will keep it in. So they won't say anything. They've stopped talking. They're not doing the work. If it's the spouse, they're not communicating. All of these are unhealthy ways. And when you keep it inside or you don't express it, communication in the right way, you yourself are not at peace. So it's a really, really key skill that we need to teach in our society.
Thank you very much. So, Dr. Christine, so then how do you think adults can heal or reparent themselves emotionally?
Parent yourself.
It's a journey. It's a journey. It's self-therapy. But I think awareness is key, right? So if you're going through life muddling and you're not even aware that this is an issue I have, or my emotions are strong, so things bother me and then I'll, react. So being self-aware is key. Reflecting on, let me notice what I normally do and then let me try and change it is key. And then looking at models, role models around us, because the brain learns much more easily by actually seeing it in action. So especially for those who haven't had that opportunity in their families, maybe your parents were also, hot-tempered. So you've had no examples of calm communication. Oh, honey, I'm really upset about this. You have to go and find role models or watch examples and start to learn in that way.
Wow. So also, this is a general question. So what role does community play in sustaining mental well-being? Someone being in a community or in an association, does it play any role?
Yeah, I think your community, that's where it starts from. If you have a strong community or you have a positive community, there's nothing that bothers you, no matter how bad it affects you. Because I know that, if there's something wrong with me, I may not be able to talk to my husband, but I can talk to Lady Anne. The community is not just your family, your immediate family, your husband and your kids. What can I discuss with my kids? Sometimes, yes, in a playful way, you discuss with your kids after conversations. you hear things and it makes you laugh, but if you have a positive community where you know who to reach out to, it doesn't always have to be, I'm going to see, that's why I say that mental health is seen as a negative stigma, but it's not so. When you say you need to go and talk to a therapist, it's not because you're going mad or because there's something. You just need to have a conversation, a conversation where there might be something that I'm going on, that I'm facing with Lady Anne, and I don't want to discuss with her. I don't want to discuss with her husband. So I feel like, okay, let me go and discuss with Dr. Christine. And it's not direct communication with Lady Anne, but she would give me, views of how maybe Lady Anne sees it, or maybe how I should have taken it, maybe how I should have seen it rather than what I am thinking. There could be how I see it and how she sees it is different. So your community helps you to build up yourself, and then to be able to also, contain what goes on around you or deal with what happens around you.
So at this point, we are moving to the heart of today's conversation. We are going to dive into the book. In fact, I want to find out what gap do you think this book has come to fill in the aspects of mental health and mental well-being?
I think self-confidence in children, that's the real gap we are looking to fill. When we were having the second edition of the Wholesome Mind Summit, the theme was on psychological safety in our community. So for children, we're looking to build confidence. For the youth, we're looking to build self-worth. For adults, we're looking to cultivate a good work-life balance. And for the elderly, we're looking to cultivate transitioning into retirement in a psychologically safe way. So it was on the back of that, we developed this workbook for the children to help them build their confidence.
Wow.
So that's the gap we are looking to fill. And it's showcasing in the 4 sections of the book.
Okay. Can you
So
take
you
us
have
to
the first section that talks about self-awareness, getting to know me better. You have the second section that's talking about social skills,
How you think.
deal with things and how you deal with people. You have the third section that is talking about my emotions or your emotions and how to deal with those emotions, because for children, they have so many emotions that are new to them. How do they deal with it themselves? And then the fourth section is talking about writing goals, personal goals as children. So when you look at all those 4 sections, in a nutshell, we are trying to build a confident child. Between the ages of 5 and 12, any child between those ages can use this book, and it helps them to build their confidence. And they need that in their teenage years. Before they start to be more assertive, before they become more independent in their dealings in society, they need that self-confidence to be able to go about their daily activities.
Okay, thank you very much. So to Mrs. Na Scott, so how did you translate psychological ideas into storytelling, into imagery?
Into all the images, yes.
How did you do
So
Only her can answer that question.
that? I mean,
to be honest, I don't know. I think I just I sleep, I talk creativity. So somebody tells me something, and the best way I understand it is how to put it out. And so you see, there's so much that's going on in my mind, and it tells me that, okay, one thing that somebody is looking at can be put out in different ways. And for those of us who see it in so many ways, that's our chance to put it out there. It's my chance to sell what I have in my head, because creativity, I can't write a book on it. I can only show you. Creativity, I can't teach you. I mean, people, I know people say they do courses for interior designing and all those things. If you don't have it in you, to be honest, I don't know how many courses you do, but you will still need someone to correct what you've done or someone to always check. But when I do something, I don't need someone to check. I check, it's already checked because it comes naturally. And so I feel like Lady Anne bringing up this idea of let's do this book. And then Dr. Christine coming on with, okay, she has the professional bits to be able to guide those of us who don't know anything about psychology. How do we then now sell it to the kids? Not every child, I don't like to read. I will not lie to you. But give me a book in a movie, I will stick to it. I will watch it a couple of times. Give me, people say, oh, why didn't you go and do law? I can talk, but that's not my calling. It's not for me. But I don't see myself going to sit in the classroom or to go and learn. But maybe put those lectures in a video. I will watch, and it will make more sense to me. So we thought, okay, she gives me the English or the text, and I put it in what I think the kids will understand, which is creativity. What they see, how they see it, is what attracts them. If you put it in black and white, not every child sees it how you see it. Yes. So it just obviously got me, to work. Got me to put my hands to what I do best. And I think it was just a great, project to work on because it came easily. And then Christine also obviously supported with what she did.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So is there a moment in the book or a part of the book you feel children will strongly connect with?
I think all of
Everywhere. I mean, right?
Everywhere.
Not just the children, even the adult who works with the child. You connect. There's so many pages in the book that you connect with. It's like when let's say you're on a lunch break and you pick up the book. Yeah. It can probably take you over your lunch break and your boss will be wondering, what's going on here? I'm waiting for you. Because it's so engaging, it's so interesting, it's fun. We try not to make it so, it's a book, so it has to be studious. Yeah. No, that's not what we're looking at. We're supporting your mental health. Yeah. So mental health is not about, pen and paper, let's get serious, we're marking, but there's no right or wrong answer because everybody's different. Yeah. So it's just going to help you, see yourself, build yourself, and move forward.
And we worked hard at making it interesting. So it's not just two-dimensional workbook. There's like games in here. So one of it is charades, where you actually cut it out, and it's like pick an act. You're playing with your friends, but it's still teaching about emotions and reading like non-verbal behaviors, right? And I was looking at another page where it was just an affirmation. But what we did was the mirror image of it. So after the child colors it, they have to go and look in the mirror. They're looking at themselves, then they can see what they actually just colored. Because you can't read it unless it's in the mirror. Yeah. So there are very creative, innovative ways in which we've made this interactive, it's fun, it's multi-sensory. It's not just I'm looking at it. It's like I'm acting it out, I'm sounding things out just to get the children engaged. Okay, so to bring that out, so can you just make mention of the mental principles that are embedded in the I think you mentioned them, but just sure. Where the core of it, like she said, is the confidence. But for our Ghanaian children, they get mixed messages, right? It's, hey, don't talk back, be seen and not heard. Then you get to a certain stage now, you have to speak up in class or in the workplace.
Not talking.
Otherwise, you won't get promoted.
Which is which.
And we want them to be successful. Yes. Yeah. So some of the principles is understanding, like she said, the social skills. Social skills is not black and white. It's very nuanced. It depends on the context, it depends on the situation, it depends on understanding what the other person is saying. So that's one of the things we're looking at. We're also looking at every day you feel multiple emotions and you're going to have to manage the emotions to be master of yourself. So that is one of the things we thought, this is a core like mental health skill that every child needs to know this. If our children are going to be successful, if Ghana is going to move forward, we need to get on this. We need to learn to communicate. And then we need to set goals, right? So I used to tell, when I worked in a school, I used to tell the students, if you don't set goals, it's like you are driving here, but you blindfolded yourself. So, hey, you're crashing, you're hitting people. You don't know where you're going. You have to set goals. Any child that is going to be successful has to learn that skill of where do I want to be? Even if you can't think far to 1 year, by next 2 weeks, what do I want to have done? Yeah, so these are some of the core skills.
Wow. On that note, if you are listening, I think one goal you should have is to have this book. You should have it as a goal to also purchase it. Later on, we'll tell you where you can get a copy. So to Lady Anne, as the publisher, what was your vision for how far or where this book should get to?
So, oh my God, I have so many big dreams about this book because I wanted to change a whole generation. You know, it's not just about us. It's about the future that we want our children to have. And so that was part of the reason I thought it was so necessary that we be able to incorporate this book into schools, into the school systems. And so when we had the summit, we had a kids' corner, and we invited 5 schools to attend. 2 of them were public schools and 3 were private schools. They attended, and each person had a copy of this book and used it. So now created 4 different sections. So we curated the book in real life. So they went to different sections and they performed different activities that they used the book to do. And in going back, we had so many great reviews from the experience on the day. And so for us, what we thought was, if this book can go into all the schools in Ghana and even all the schools in Africa, it's going to change a whole generation. You know, and it goes back to the whole advocacy on mental health and trying to educate the public, try to generate policy around it. That way, we can start to incorporate mental wellness into our school systems. Because when that happens, at home, you have a book, your family is teaching you how to be mentally sound. You go to school, the school is teaching you how to be mentally sound. You're in society, you are incorporating the skills that you've learned from being a mentally sound person. Imagine what that will do to the generation, you know, beyond us. So really, that's what we have. That's our dream, is to change a generation to be better, have a better mental awareness.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so also want to find out, how did you work together in bringing your different backgrounds? Because you have a clinical psychologist, an attorney, and then a creative specialist. So how did you work together to...
I think one core thing that runs through all of us is that we are mothers.
Okay.
You know, we are mothers. And so it's so dear to us. And we all think that mental health is such a key thing that we need to be able to develop in our society. So I think that's one thing that brought us together. That no, it's very important. The funny thing is that at the maiden edition of the summit, Na attended.
Okay.
And as she sat there, when we ended, she was like, Lady Anne, we need to involve the kids in this.
Wow.
And Dr. Christine attended as well. And she actually did the mindfulness activity for the summit. And so in planning the second edition, it was a no-brainer to bring us together to make sure that we implement this in a good way. And it has been such... Awesome. It's been an incredible, yes.
I think we also have some of the skills we are trying to...
We're trying to...
Because we are able to, you know, compromise, collaborate. We're calm, we manage our emotions.
And the stress, but
that was the next question I was coming to ask. What did the collaboration...
I think when we were putting the book together, I wasn't in town.
Okay.
I was on holiday, to be honest. I was on holiday. So I was expecting to be in holiday mood or in holiday mode. But I was always getting messages from Lady Anne, and then Dr. Christine would say, nah, the time is going. What have you done? And I'm like, nothing.
Even in doing
let's give ourselves some time. Then another week will pass. Nah, how's it going? I'm like, Dr. Christine, next week. But I got to a point where we were like, no, Lady Anne is giving us a deadline. So I think we sat up. Within a week, we were doing day and nights.
Deep into
the night, we were working, and I was like, no, this needs to be done just to get it out of the way, you know, to make the dream come to pass. So,
Wow, thank you very much. So to bring the discussion to an end, where can our viewers get the book?
So we currently have it in Mission Pediatrics. That's Dr. Christine's hospital. And we are also looking to deliver. So we have the numbers. We'll give you the numbers for delivery purposes if anybody wants to purchase it. It's only 150 CDs. Only. Yes, but
a lifetime
of skills. Yes, and we also purchase or sell it in bulk. And so if a school wanted to purchase for their school, we
You
sell
get a
it in
discount.
bulk and we give a discount on that. And we add a free training for Train Your Trainer workshop so that the teachers can know how they can implement it. You know, we had a last training session with the school and the teachers were so excited about it and said, this can be used in an entire curriculum for a whole year. And so it's a great tool.
Wow.
It's a great tool to have.
That's nice. And also visit our website, www.spoudazopod.com for the details pertaining to the book. Yes. So to your final words for our viewers.
I would say that everyone, it's not about just kids. Everyone, at some point, even if you don't have kids now, at some point you would have kids, or you have some nieces and nephews somewhere. You need one of these books in your home. I think it's such a great tool to have, to use for children that are around you or children that you know. And the more you get into the book, the more you see the essence of what we are trying to sell out there. And so I would say that everyone should get one and also look forward to the next one that's coming out soon, which will not be for kids because I think we've had a lot of recommendations on adult version,
and
couple version, a lot of that. So teenagers. Maybe one of my next holiday we'll think about the next one.
It is on your holiday that it works.
That's when my brain is at work.
I would say that, you know, this is our little way of pushing advocacy on mental health into our community. And so by purchasing this book, you're actually sowing a seed into trying to change the next generation as well. So if you can, by all means, get a copy and use it yourself. And we love feedback. You know, and so we're happy for feedback so that we can do better and higher versions of it.
Dr. Christine.
I'll say to the audience, think about how much you invest in your children's education. And then think about how much you've invested in their emotional and social learning. Don't overlook it because it's core, it's fundamental to their well-being and their success. So this is a time to self-reflect and use this book as a stepping stone to starting to invest into your children's mental health.
Thank you very, very much for coming on board.
Thank you too.
Thank
for
you.
having us.
My pleasure. All right, viewers. So it's a wrap on the Wholesome Mind Convo. This is the Spoudazo Book Review Podcast in collaboration with the Wholesome Mind Experience Workbook. Please, if you have not subscribed to the channel, you are not doing it. Just go down, then just subscribe to the channel. And we'd like to encourage you can check out our other channels on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and AudioMac, and also on our website at www.spoudazopod.com for all the details. And thank you very much for staying on board with the Spoudazo Book Review Podcast once again. And God be thanked for books. Bye.
Spoudazo.